episode 2. And we're back with the Mission Slip podcast. I want this podcast to not just be a permission slip for myself, but also be a permission slip for everyone else, because this is just what I found. Like, every time I give myself a permission slip, I'm extending it to everyone else too. Which just makes this, I don't know, just way more fun, way more impactful, and, you know, yeah, just adds more depth to why I'm doing this. So, I want to talk about the robot race and my robot revolution, because it has come to my attention recently that we're living in a robot society. And I'm not just talking about AI. I have seen this robot society all my life, but I'm only just clocking it this year. So I'll give you a little story background. Maybe you'll understand it better from this, but basically, all my life, there's been this pressure to fit in a box. From the age of 14 is when I started caring about my body image and fitting into ideals and having the perfect body, and there was just a lot of pressure to look a certain way. And that led me down 10 years of disordered eating and all the fucking diets in the world, binge eating because my body would just retaliate, and yeah, just completely disconnecting from anything in my body other than what it looked like, and just really reducing down my body's worth, let's say, to just how it looked. And it was almost like I was just killing myself. I would exercise so hard, oh my god, the emotional and physical pain I went through to not eat when I was hungry, and suppressing my appetite. I went through a phase of doing a lot of cocaine to suppress it. I remember just smoking so many cigarettes in the evening, just trying to distract from the fact that I was so hungry, and then going to bed hungry. And yeah, it's just really fucking sad that I put my body through that, all because I wanted to look good. And then I mean, I think most women can relate to that, and maybe on another episode I could go into more detail, but my point here with the whole robot race is that I just feel that we've been so conditioned to prioritize how we're perceived and what we look like as the most important value, that we've just become dead inside. It's we're all replicating this template of what is acceptable and what is lovable in society in terms of looks, expression. Women are literally walking around expressionless because they don't want to get wrinkles, and getting things like Botox done, and everyone's holding everything in. Like, so I teach breath work, and my work is like really, really like rooted in self-expression. And I feel like I need to go down this road to express like why self-expression is the most important thing that you have as a human. One, it's how you relate to people. It's how you get what you want. It's how you take up space in the world. It's how you make a mark. It's how you communicate, non-verbally and verbally. Two, it's how you regulate your body. It's literally how you move energy through your body. It's how you process emotion. But no one's doing it because it looks weird. So if you see a baby, like baby that's come out of the womb will cry, scream, tantrum, like, you know, a baby fully takes up space because a baby is still in connection with the instinctive stress cycle response. You know, you get triggered by something, your body releases hormones, you feel the emotion, which is energy in motion, and then you use self-expression to help the energy leave the body, and then it doesn't get trapped. And what we've got nowadays is this whole society of people who have completely forgotten how to express themselves. Like, it's kind of rare to meet someone that's like comfortable with crying. Most people who cry, you'll watch them like literally be like, I don't want to cry, you know, like holding it in. Or like men, for example, like they don't even, there's so many men that don't know how to cry, and like they even try and cry and they can't. But this is a learned behavior, and like there's studies that show that when you cry, some people who cry more live longer. And it's because if you're holding all of your emotions in, if you're not processing what comes up, that is energy not leaving your body. It's energy remaining in your fascia and your tissues. And it's not only causing you to create beliefs and survival identities and like self-sabotaging patterns and like all those kind of like blocks within yourself, it's also affecting your physical health. Like 93% of all disease is caused by trauma, unprocessed trauma in the body. So this is why I'm leading a revolution against the robot race that we're living in. Because we are underexpressed. And when we're holding so much shame, guilt, anger, rage, all these heavy frequencies of emotion, if we're holding them in the body, we're not, like the energy, the movement of energy is not able to just like flow in our field and in our body, we cannot access aliveness, we cannot access pleasure, we cannot access full freedom. And this is how we become robots, because if we can't feel all the like heavy emotions, we also can't feel the heights of pleasure and aliveness and the like exhilarating, like just being present in all your feelings. You're just living in the mind. Because when the body's holding on to a lot of pain and tension and emotion and unprocessed stuff, your mind will literally tick like a fucking, I don't know what that is. The mind protects you from having to feel all the discomfort in the body. And that's why there's so many of us that are just constantly second guessing in cycles of self-doubt, like living these patterns, these identities of like, how can I avoid feeling anything uncomfortable by just abandoning myself. And that's where like the people pleaser, the good girl, the Mother Teresa identity, they all come in because they're protecting you from having to feel the heavy emotions of like rejection, of shame. But what my mission is here is, and this is how I'm gonna like, this is how I'm gonna show you like the way that this works. The way that this work and my method has been created is when you're okay, when you can hold the shame, the grief, the anger, the rage, when you can hold it and you no longer run away from it and you actually let it move through you, your survival identities just mean nothing. Like, you don't need them anymore because you're not running away from parts of yourself anymore. You can then start to take up space in your like truth, in your bold truth and authenticity, and like your voice and like your beliefs and like your boundaries, and not buckle or cower or waver with them because you're scared that people aren't going to like you. And the way to access more aliveness and more pleasure and like stop being a fucking robot is to feel the emotion, hold the emotion, and then express it. Like, feel it, let it move through the body. Like, that's why on my retreats we do so much deep workshop on expression and taking up space and learning how to move energy through the body. Because once you're a master of your body, you become a master of your reality. Once you are able to change the frequency in your body to a higher frequency of magnetism, of pleasure, of aliveness, the whole universe rearranges itself around you. Your work deepens, becomes like body-led, pleasure-led, purpose-led. You become deeper in your boundaries in service without all your insecurities and your identities holding you back. Same in relationships. Relationships deepen. You have difficult conversations. You face parts of yourself that most people can't face, which is why they're in draining relationships, because they're just running away from themselves and they're in these cycles with each other. And it's like when you start meeting yourself in these deeper parts, you attract someone who can meet themselves in their deeper parts too. And then all of a sudden, your relationship is this deep dance of just embodiment and self-expression and communication and like intimacy. And it starts with being intimate with the self, and intimate with the self is very vulnerable. This is where this work, and I don't even like to call it work, but this is where this is just so powerful, because yeah, this isn't for the faint-hearted. What I do is not for the faint-hearted, because you meet yourself in so much vulnerability and intimacy. The average person isn't willing to go there. But when you can go there, you just unlock. You just unlock so much infinite opportunity to really live this life to the full, to really be in every experience, to really feel the aliveness of being a human being and experience the full range of your emotions. You know, we're souls in a human experience. And when we're souls and we're not here on this plane, in this 3D reality, we don't have emotion in the spiritual realm. We don't have these senses. and this experience, and it's like when you're able to be in your aliveness as a human, it's like you feel gratitude for all of it, even the emotions that are heavy, because it's like, oh my God, like I can feel it. I feel alive. I feel this pulse in my body. Like, yeah, it's challenging, but like, wow. What a feeling to be alive and in your senses. And this is why I bring sensuality into the practice, because sensuality is being in your senses, in your pleasure, in your pain, in your power, in your grief, in your rage, in your shame. Like, all of it is welcome, and this is where it just becomes so fucking mind-blowing, because you thought that you weren't whole. You thought that there were parts of you that you needed to shame or avoid, or that weren't good enough. But then you enter this world of the robot revolution, the world of the feline takeover, where we get primal, we get raw, we get in our feelings, we get in our body, we get in our expression. And then you realize that it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about their version of success, climbing the ladder of having a diary full of proving that you were good enough through your achievements. It was always just about feeling alive in this experience. And that's the kind of conversation that you would have on your deathbed. I truly, deeply, deliciously lived my life in full aliveness. Not numbness, not disconnection, not chasing, not suppression, but like in full fucking licking it all up, just being alive and in your senses as a human, like getting a dead hand. This is why we're here to experience it, to lick it all up and just and this last note is the sexuality piece, because especially as women, we have so much shame around our sexuality. And the reason why I've brought in sexuality and sensuality into my work is because you cannot access aliveness and pleasure while you are still holding so much shame in your body. And coming back alive, pardon the pun, but bringing your body back online and bringing your aliveness and your pleasure and all of that means meeting the parts of you where you're carrying shame, and it's just inevitable. There's not a woman on this planet that doesn't feel shame around her sexuality, because that's the society that we're living in right now. In some cultures it's more intense than others, but it's deep-rooted, and it's not just from your lifetime, it's from your ancestry too. And we're holding that in our bodies from our whole lineage. So this work is multidimensional. Like, there's so many parts of this, but itchy nose. Like, it just comes down to just it's literally so hard to summarize this in one sentence. Basically, I am just done with living life like a robot, prioritizing how I look, how I'm perceived, whether I'm doing it right, over what actually is alive in my body. And I want this for all the women, for everyone. I want this for everyone. Because I know that when you're alive in your life, there is just nothing left to chase. No amount of money, no relationship, no man, like, no version of success. Like, when you are fully alive and it's pulsing through your body and you've got that just liberation online, you don't need anything else. Everything else comes as you start to create the reality that you want as a byproduct of you and your aliveness and your full truth. And that's what's so fucking beautiful about it.